The Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Abuaji, has also been talking about the case management protocols that have been reviewed. He says patients who are asymptomatic will be discharged 14 days after initial positive result. He has been giving us further details on this.
Discharge means, as I'll go through, means that you are healthy, you don't pose a risk to anybody, and so you are discharged. But we'll go ahead and see that you have tested negative, and then we'll pray that you are viral. But I'll give you the symptoms. So the new criteria combine time-based and symptom-based strategies. That's the duration when you were contracted up to the time, and also what are the symptoms? Are you still coughing? Do you have fever, etc.? These are the two combinations that that is more that helps us. For cases being discharged after a period of time and symptom-free, that is for those who are not showing any symptoms. The period of time is the initial after the initial test was done. So basically, we have the time-based. That is those who are not showing the symptoms. Is about how long was he tested positive and how long is it now. And for those who are symptoms, are they still exhibiting symptoms after a certain duration of time? That will determine whether we discharge them. So based on that, WHO in that guidelines made two recommendations. For symptomatic patients, that is those who have exhibiting either cough, fever, who are sick, for say, 10 days after the symptoms of onset, plus at least 3 days without symptoms. So 10 days from the positive test was done, up to the time that you have 3 days, a minimum of 3 days. So if you, after 10 days, you are able to show that no symptom for the next 3 days, you are discharged without a test. For those who do not have symptoms, the WHO recommend that for 10 days after initial positive test, you should be discharged. There are new evidence that we can show. Evidence of many studies have shown that they continue to shed virus from the upper respiratory tract, that is from the throat, nose, etc., approximately 7 to 12 days. And in respect to the number of the viral load, after a certain period, they do not share. In Ghana, our own case management team had followed about 146 patients, and all of them had tested. The average time for testing 2 negative was 14 days. So in view of all the evidence that is coming out across the globe, we decided with all the context that I've done to review our policy to reflect the new trends and also decongest our place and also allow us to focus more on the sick. So we, as a service, met all our directors and other stakeholders, other scientists were consulted, and these were the new protocols that we had agreed to. That for patients who are asymptomatic, that's, for example, somebody in PCC, etc., if you are admitted to the Pentecost Convention Center or any of our isolation centers, 14 days after the initial positive. The initial positive is not when you receive your results. It's the day your sample was taken, because that is when you were positive, not when the results came. 14 days after that, we will discharge you without a test. For those who are symptomatic, we do 14 days after discharge, and then if you are without, after the testing positive, if you are without symptoms, you are discharged. At least 3 days of no symptoms, you are discharged without a test. What we will do is that then you'll be asked, because you don't pose any threat, you'll be now doing your negative test on the at home, and then come for review, and we'll see that. So that's when that will do. So when we have reviewed that, we realize that quite a significant number of people who still remain on our books because their lab results are not in, would all be be discharged unless they have conditions. So basically, this is a new policy. So the policy is that 14 days for asymptomatic cases. From the time that you are tested, you took your sample, you'll be discharged. So if I was sent to, they took my sample on the 1st, I probably got my results on the 3rd of March. I moved to PCC on the day I arrive. I know that on the 14th of June, I'll be going home. And you have some predictability as to when you go. For those in hospital, and usually within 10 days, symptoms abate, and then we'll do 3 more days. If you remain stable, then you are discharged. And we hope that will also help us